بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from all of us coming here to learn the language of the noble Quran. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us sadqa jariyah for our parents and make our children sadqa jariyah for us. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us tawfiq to learn the language of the noble Quran and then teach others. Ameen ya Rabbi. I welcome you, my respected sisters, on behalf of Ulum Academy for this revision class of your level 2. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. It is from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is from the tawfiq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is from the fadl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we have reached up to this stage. Alhamdulillah, we have finished our book and today we are gathered here for our revision, final revision for level 2. Inshallah, after this revision, you will have an exam. You will receive dates from the admin, and then you can appear in the exam, inshallah, give your exams, and then you will be, inshallah, move to level 3, which is going to be book 2. Inshallah, in book 2, as I said last time as well, sisters, we will try to open the Musaf in every lesson, because when we will reach book 2, the thing is there are things which you will be able to find those very easily in the Quran, the concept, the rules, the words, complementing with the information we have right now, what we have learned from book 1, inshallah, our understanding will go much higher. So inshallah, we will be able to open the Musaf in almost every class, and we will be analyzing some ayahs, inshallah. Sisters, if you could just allow me 1 minute, please. Yeah, thank you very much. Sorry about that. So now, in terms of the exams, if you could please take part in this poll and let Ulum Academy know that when would you like to have your exams, because the previous session was also invited to take part in the poll. So we have an idea how much time sisters think they need time to revise. So then accordingly, you will have your exam, inshallah. So if everybody can please take part, that will be much, much beneficial, sisters. Okay, alhamdulillah, numbers are going up, and it's like a very close tie. We'll see what happens in the end. So if you think exam should be after 2 weeks, then select 2 weeks. If you think you need more time to prepare and the exam should be after 3 weeks, then select 3 weeks. Sister Aisha, Dr. Myra, you can select it on the poll. That would be better. So then everybody will be able to see in one go what is the ratio. If we take it in the chat box, then obviously it's very difficult to analyze. Okay. Sister Maha, text has already been locked. I don't know how can you see any text. It's only host and co-host. Okay, sisters. 10 more seconds before we close the poll. 209, 10 answers so far out of 266. Sisters who are having cup of tea, please come here. Take the part in poll and then you can go back. We'll extend 30 more seconds because I think those have heard and they're coming back. Okay. 15 more seconds. Thank you so much, Sister Asma. We'll just end it now in few seconds. We just want maximum number of people. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Okay, that's it. We end here, and inshallah, it'll be shared soon. So I think you all can see the results on your screens. It's 60% sisters are saying 2 weeks, 40% are 3 weeks. In the morning session, 61% was 2 weeks, and 39% was 3 weeks. So it's more or less like that. So we'll see what the late night class, the evening class selects, and then we will decide accordingly. So you will receive notification in your group that when is the exam and what is the follow-up after that, inshallah. So alhamdulillah, this is done. So we'll start the class now, inshallah. Okay, so this is well, the thing is, it was thought that how should be the revision, because the revision, if you remember, we just had a revision for this level after lesson 9. So between lesson 9 and now, there was not really much material to cover, and almost all those things are very much fresh in everybody's mind. Like it was mamnu min as-sarf, dip dot, and before that we have studied numbers, and before that it was dual, so it was not much. So alhamdulillah, I think this is better idea. Inshallah, it'll be very, very useful. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. We will do the revision for the whole book now, book 1. But of course, you can understand what we have covered, alhamdulillah, in so many classes cannot be just covered in one class. It's going to be a very quick revision where we'll be touching the subjects, and maybe if there's something which needs to be mentioned, it will be mentioned. Otherwise, you have all those things with you and you can go back to your notes and study. But today we will just try to touch the subjects so that we know, alhamdulillah, that how much have we covered so far. So this is how we started our level 1. I think in class number 1 or 2, lesson number 1 or 2 or 3, maybe we have seen type of word, the 3 type of words. Give me 1 second, sister. There is some disturbance here. Let me just clear it. Okay, alhamdulillah. So these were, so the 3 things we have seen: ism, fail, and harf. So ism, what is ism? What is noun? Noun is a word. When you look at the word, when you hear that word, you immediately understand the meaning. So nobody needs to tell you the meaning. Let's say in English, for example, you hear the word yasir or house or student, you immediately understand. You don't need any further words connected with that for you to understand the meaning. When you read verbs, read, eat, walk, in Arabic we say kataba, akala, masha, then you immediately know this is an action, and you can also find the traces of time frame in that. So you know this is past tense. So the meaning is known and the time is also known. Whereas in the noun, only meaning is known. There is no time to bite and yasir. It cannot be connected with time in terms of action. And the third thing is harfun, which is particles. Now, when you see these words, min, ila, fi, even in English, Sister Hafiz is saying there is no sound. Anybody else problems with the sound? If it's clear, just write clear, otherwise write unclear. So we know. Okay. So alhamdulillah, Sister Hafiz, you need to check your device. But if you can't hear, then of course you can't hear this message as well. Allah musta'an. Maybe she can just log back in after logging out. Inshallah, it'll clear it. Okay, harf, particle. Now, when we hear these words, let's see the transition. In, to, from. Do we understand anything? If I say from, it doesn't give you any meaning. You need it to be attached to something. You need it to be attached to either the verb or either to ism. Then you will understand, right? When we say dhahaba ila, went to, now this to has got some meaning, this ila, right? Or if you say ila Muhammadin or ila al-masjidi, towards the masjid. So harf, they don't give you any meaning until and unless you attach them, you connect them with something else. So I hope it is clear. Then here, in Arabic, there are 8 parts of speech. As you can see, the noun itself has got 5 parts, but Arabic is very simple, alhamdulillah. It's just 3 parts of speech, unlike English, where you have 5 parts of nouns. But in Arabic, everything which is covered here in noun, separate, we have just, because noun in English is just one, and then other things. Here in ism, which is noun, we cover a lot of things. So it has got damair, which is pronouns. We've got naat, zarf, Interjection, we haven't done it, but that is covered in noun as well. Then it's verb, which is the action. And this particle, there are two types of particles in Arabic, conjunction and preposition. In Arabic, they both are covered in harfun. So whether you say wow, wow is to connect. Ja'a Muhammadun wa Aliyun. Muhammad came and Ali came, or Muhammad and Ali came, however way you like to say. Or the particles like harf jar, we have seen before, for, min, to, at. Okay, so here we see three things. Now in this book, primarily we have covered ism. Primarily we have discussed noun. We did touch a little bit of verb and little bit of particles, but inshallah in upcoming books we will do more of that. So today in the revision we don't have much to cover from verb and particles because we've done just a little. Most of our course was revolving around ism. So today's revision class will also having most of the stuff from the noun side, inshallah. So here's harf jar. So in harf we have done few of the prepositions, fi, ala, min, ila, letter. We've done bi, li. So what does harf jar do? What harf jar does is that the word which comes after harf jar, the nouns which comes after harf jar is always majroor. You see, it makes it majroor. So this is the noun. Al-baytu, this is a noun. But when harf jar will come before that, harf jar has an impact on this noun. It will change this noun from this dhamma to kasra. Yani the noun, originally all nouns are marfu, right? Most of the nouns are marfu. But when harf jar came and sat next to this noun, what it did was it changed the i'rab. It became majroor from marfu. So this is what harf jar does. And we have studied all of these harf jar, I think, except for an. So from the Quran, for example, if you see an example in the Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل. What is happening after ala? Jabalin. It's not jabalun or jabalan. This is why this is jabalin, because there's a harf jar before that. Had we sent down this Quran on a mountain, so this ala means on, but what this ala is doing, it is changing the next word into harf jar. So alhamdulillah, we all are aware of that, and there is really, it's very simple concept. Then in the verbs area, in the af'al area, we have studied few failun madi, like dhahaba, kharaja. Those were most repeated throughout the book. He went, he left. And we have done little bit of mudare, which is a present tense. That was a part of one of your worksheets, which you have done. But it was officially not included in the course. Officially, we only had past tense. So when we say kataba, dhahaba, kharaja, as we know, we have said many times, no action can exist without a doer. So no verb can exist without a doer, because verb is an action. So who is the doer here? Doer is hidden. Kataba, huwa kataba. Dhahaba, huwa dhahaba. Kharaja, huwa kharaja. We can see that in the translation here. So we have said before, sisters, that here the file, our eyes cannot see the doer, but our mind can see the doer, and the doer is he, which you can see here in the translation. Things regarding the verbs, they're very interesting. When we will move to book 2, then inshallah we will try to attend them more vigorously. At this moment in time, we are only doing revision, so we'll not go into the detail. During the course, we didn't find time to go much into the detail of these verbs because we had so many concepts over there, which like it was must for us to attend those concepts first, which were in the book 1. And then now we move towards our ism. So who can tell me, when we have done this Surah Fatiha, why did we do this exercise when we've done it in the beginning of the course? It was level 1 when we've done it, beginning of book 1. Anybody can tell me, sisters? Sister Zora, Barakallah Fik, Sister Amtul. Right, correct. It was moon letters and sun letters. Huruful Shamsiyya and Huruful Qamariya. So it is very useful for the recitation of the Quran, for the tajweed. Like few surahs, few ayahs, we know by heart. We recite them often, so we know where to pronounce lam and where not to, where to pronounce lam and where not to pronounce lam. But we come across maybe some ayahs we are not very familiar with. So at that time, inshallah, this will come very handy, and we know that how it is. So Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So Ar-Rahman. We didn't say Al-Rahman. Ar-Rahim. We didn't say Al-Rahim. Why? Because of this sun letter. Look, the icon of sun is here. Ra belongs from the category of sun letters. So when alif lam comes before Ra, then we will not pronounce lam. Here, alhamdu. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. We are saying Alhamdu. We are not saying ah. We are not saying ah. We say Al Alameen. Lam is being pronounced. Why? Because Ha and Meen belongs from the category of moon letters. Here we have sun letters and moon letters. On the left hand side, you can find the list. Sisters, this slide, all of these slides, it will be sent to you, inshallah. And this will be very handy for you to quickly revise it. Of course, for the detail, you can go back to your resource notes and see more details. But inshallah, just by looking at this PDF which you will receive, it will be very helpful to revise every topic in your mind, that what we have covered. You look at the topic and you think, you know what, I know all of this, khalas, is done. But if you think you're weak in that, then this will work as a reference. You can go back to your resource notes and you can study in more detail. So these are here moon letters and these are sun letters. So we say al-babu, al-abu, al-qamaru, say al-waladu. So lam is being pronounced. The moon letters. What is happening in sun letters? We say at-tajiru, ar-rajulu, ash-shamsu, at-talibu. We don't say al-talibu. So lam is not being pronounced in the sun letters and it is being pronounced for moon letters. It's the same thing what we've seen before. And then the questions. We have learned questions, few questions. Adatul istifham, how to ask questions. So ma and man, they both are asked to, they both are used to ask the same thing. But ma can only be used for things and man can only be used for human beings. Whereas this Hamzatul istifham, can be used to ask questions about human beings. Yani aqil and ghair aqil. Aqil, we know human beings. Malaika and Jannat are in the category of aqil. Everything else is non-aqil, non-intelligent being. So we can say ahadha talibun. Now talib, ahadha tabibun. Of course, talib, tabib, they're human being. We can also ask for things ahadha kitabun, ahadha qalamun. But we can't say, we can't talk about things and we say man, and we can't talk about human beings or aqil and use ma. Likewise, we've done aina. Aina is for where, yeah. And we have done kaifa. Kaifa is for how. Kaifa we didn't do in a lesson, but we know generally from kaifa halukum, kaifa haluki, kaifa haluka. Kaifa means how. And we have also covered mata. Mata means when. And we have covered something which is used to ask about the numbers. Who can tell me? Barakallah fiqh. Sister Binta Iqbal, Sister Rihanna, Sister Zora, mashallah, tabarakallah. Many sisters are answering. Come. We use come when we are inquiring about the numbers. Barakallah fiqh. Then indefinite and definite. What is indefinite and definite? We have covered all of this, what you can see in the screen. We have covered in much detail. So definite is marifa, indefinite is nakira. So when we say baytun, we see tanween here. But what's the meaning of baytun? Means a house, any house. Kitabun, any book. Qalamun, any book. But when we put alif, then we are talking about something specific. It's not just any house, the house. It means the speaker and the listener, they both know which object, which thing you are talking about. Al-bayt, so they both know which bayt, which house. When you say al-kitab, they both know which kitab. If you say al-qalam, they both know which book they are talking about. So what happens is indefinite noun cannot accept single haraka. It must come with tanween. Who can tell me what type of nouns can accept single dhamma without alif lam? Are there any nouns which will not accept tanween? Very good. Modaf and diptotes. Very good. In terms of the category of the words, those are diptotes. In terms of the tarkeeb, the combination of the words, Modaf is among them. Brilliant, mashallah. And when you attach alif lam, then tanween cannot stay with that. Tanween has to go. So it will become only single haraka. So this is definite and indefinite. In Arabic, we call it nakira and marifa. Can a word, sisters, I have a question. Can a word like this one, babu, it's nakira, right? Indefinite. Is there any way we can make it marifa, we can make it definite without putting tanween on it? Can we do something with this word? Barakallah fiqh, Sister Khola, Sister Sana, Sister Nazneen, Barakallah fiqh. No, Sister Shama, we can do. You're thinking it's no, but we can do. Sister Rihanna, I said without alif. You say Babul Baiti, door of the house. Now it is proper noun. Now sorry, it's a definite noun by the position. By the position. With al, it is proper. It's not proper. Sorry, it's marifa. It's definite by ittasal bi alif, by the joining of alif lam with that. Sorry, but when you say Babul Baiti, then it means it is marifa, it is definite by its position because it is a mudaf. Okay, and then we have also studied Hamzatul Wasl. What is Hamzatul Wasl? Hamzatul Wasl is an alif, is an Hamza, which has got no neck of ayn at the top. We'll see what is the neck of ayn. We have seen that before as well, alhamdulillah. And when this alif will come, if it is coming in the beginning of the word and there is no other word before that, then we will pronounce it. But if there's a word before that, then it will become silent. In the writing, it will be there, but we will not pronounce. So, for example, as we see here on the screen, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم الحمد لله رب العالمين غير المغضوب أين الكتاب والقمر. You see, alif is there, but there is not coming in pronunciation. These words, ismun and ibnun, are likewise. So we say ismun, right? So if somebody says ismi Fatimatu, now they're saying ismi, so they are pronouncing this alif. But if somebody asks a question, they will say masmuki, masmuka, depending on who they are speaking to. So they will not pronounce this alif. This is called Hamzatul Wasl. Another thing we have learned was tanween, like the names Bilal, Yasir, Zaid, Hamid, they all have tanween. But when we call them, we attach ya nida, vocative ya. Then we don't say ya Bilalun, we say ya Bilalu, ya Yasiru. So you see, this is the result. When the ya is getting attached, when ya is coming with those names, then the result is that they are losing the tanween. It'll be only single haraka. Okay, what we were looking at previously was Hamzatul Wasl, and then Hamzatul Qath. Hamzatul Qath is an Hamza. It is same, one stick like alif. It is drawn exactly like alif, but there is a neck of ayn. Whether it will be at the top of the alif or it will be at the bottom of the alif. This one will always be pronounced. It will still stay in the writing like this one, but Hamzatul Wasl, when we join two words and if it is falling in the middle, we don't pronounce. But Hamzatul Qata, whatever the position of this letter is, if there's a word before that, if there's no word before that, we will still pronounce it. For example, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Qul huwallahu ahad. You see, ahad, individually you will say ahad, and coming between the two words, you will also say ahad. Here it is coming in the beginning. Wa iz qala. We didn't say was qala. If this was not Hamzatul Qata, if it was Hamzatul Wasl like this alif, we will say was qala. But we're saying wa iz qala. Why? Because it is Hamzatul Qata. I hope it is clear. We have covered it many times before. And then the genders of the noun. How many genders do we have for noun? How many type of ism we have from the point of view of gender? So we have is muzakkar and ism muannas, yani masculine noun and feminine noun. So this is and now we have seen that before, and we know that many a times we have a masculine word, by simply adding ta marbuta, we change it into feminine. So abidun, one worshipper of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one male. How to say about the sister? Abidatun. So just adding by ta marbut. As you can see here, mudarrisun is a male teacher, mudarrisatun is a female teacher, talibun is a male student, talibatun is the female student. However, this ta, as we see, this ta is giving us an idea that it's feminine. There are other type of tas as well. For example, look at this one, bintun and ukhtun. That ta is not ta marbuta. This is an open ta, right? Ta maftuha. It's not closed ta like that. But still we know bint and ukht, of course, they're sisters. Daughter, akh, ukht, they all are females. Now there are some words which don't have this ta, this one, ta marbuta, or the open ta, but still they are feminine. For example, like the word ummun, mother. Mother is always feminine. And in Arabic, shamsun, the word shamsun, sun, is also feminine. Likewise, not all nouns which have ta marbuta, they all are not necessarily feminine. For example, Hamza, this has got ta marbuta in the end. Bait has got an open ta in the end, but they both are masculine. They both are not feminine. Why there is we see bintun, mudarrisatun, talibatun, ukhtun, ummun, shamsun, baytun. Why Hamza do not have tanween, sisters? Who can tell me? Why not Hamzatun when everything else can have tanween? Barakallahu fiq. This is dip-toed. It is mamnu min as-sarf. In the last few lessons, we have discussed that. This name has got ta marbuta. It will not accept tanween because these are accepting, but these are not names. Madrasa is not anybody's name. Talibatun is not anybody's name. Whereas Aishatu is a name. Khadijatu is a proper name. Likewise, Hamzatu is the proper name. Okay, then Arab. What is Arab? We have discussed that before. For example, even if you Arab is something by the appearance, you will find the role of the word in the sentence, right? For any walk in the life, you go somewhere, you go to a market, how do you identify which shop is selling what? Let's say you go to France and you don't speak French. You go to Germany and you don't speak German. You just go into the market. How are you going to know what shop is selling what? Because you even can't read their language. So the names are written, but you don't know. You will look by the appearance. In the butcher shop, you will find chicken, you will find meat, and you will know that this is a butcher shop. For the pharmacy, you will find a lot of medicines over there. Just by looking at the halat, looking at the kafiyah, looking at how they look like, you will understand this is a pharmacy. For example, you will go to you want to look for some grocery shop. You just look how they look like, what things do they have, what are they putting in their showcase, and by looking at that, you'll be able to understand what kind of things this shop is selling. Likewise, when we look at the Arabic words, we look at the Arab to find the role of the word in the sentence. For example, if we know one word, daraba means it's an action of hitting. This is all we know. And then I come up with the whole full sentence, daraba zaidun hamidan. Now you don't know, you only know two things. You know daraba means action of hitting, and then you know that two names have been called, Hamid and Zaid, Hamidun and Zaidan. If you don't know the Arab, what are you going to do? You will not know. You will only know that some sort of hitting is mentioned. So who somebody is hitting somebody. Alhamdulillah, you know the Arab. You know file is always marfu, and mafulun bihi, the object of the verb on which the action is being done, is always mansub. So just by listening to this sentence, daraba Hamidun Zaidan, you know Hamid is the one who hit Zaid. How do you know that? Because you know the Arab. But how do you identify the Arab? You identify the Arab in two ways. Either you will find bil haraka, like fatha, damma, kasra, as the example I just gave you, or Arabs can be found in letters. But how? What I'm trying to say here is that if you have a word which is a singular word, Muslimun, for example, here, then you will know it is playing the role of the fa'il, it is playing the role of mafulun bi, it is playing the role of majroor by looking at the haraka, damma, fatha, kasra. But if the word is dual, it's about two people, or it's more than two people, then how would you identify whether they are doing something or something is being done upon them? You will identify them by huruf, not by harakat. There were two questions in the exam. I hope you all understood that and you all have attended that. So if you have two dual, then Muslimani, sister, sign of Arab. Okay, Sister Sajina, this is what we are doing. For singular, there are three signs of Arab. We've just seen Dhamma, Fatha, Kasra. Dhamma, Fatha, Kasra. This is bil harakat. Dhamma, Fatha, Kasra are what? They are vowel signs. So by looking at the vowel signs, harakat we define. So how many type of vowel signs are there? Three. Dhamma, Fatha, and Kasra. But if you have a word which is Muthanna, yani dual, reflecting two people, or Jama, reflecting more than two, then how will you identify? So if you have Jama, for example, Jama Mudhakkar Salim, masculine sound plural, then the waw will tell you that this is marfu, and for the mansub and majroor it is ya. So effectively, as Sister Sajina just asked, sign of Arab for singular 3, plural 2, please explain. This is the explanation. We understood now what is the sign of Arab. Once again, that sign of Arab tells you the role of the word in the sentence. So If the word is reflecting one person, then we will know their role by looking at the haraka on the last letter of that word, right? Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, the haraka, the vowel sign on the last letter. But if the word in front of us is, for example, Jama, say, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, plural. So then how will we know? We know wow reflects marfu and ya reflects mansoob and majroor. Is it clear, sisters? We have discussed that so many times. There should not be any problem. Dhamma reflects marfu. Dhamma tells the word is marfu. Fatha tells the word is mansoob. Kasra tells the word is manjur. What do I mean by it says majroor, it says mansoob? Because we know that file is always marfu, mubtada is always marfu, khabar is always marfu. So when we look at the sentence, come here, when we look at this sentence, al muslimu mushtahidun, we know that sentence is beginning with the noun sentence. Noun sentence has got two pillars, mubtada and khabar. Here we have mubtada and khabar. How will we know which is mubtada, which is khabar? We know this is dhamma, so we say this is mubtada, first word coming, al muslimu. How? Because we see mubtada is always marfu and this is dhamma, and this is mushtahidun. This is also marfu, so this is khabar. So for example, if I put a word in the middle of two, kitaba, kitaba, not bu, kitaba with the fatha. So are you going to call that a khabar? No, because you know khabar, the sign of the khabar is always marfu. You will say kitab is something else. I'll think about it afterwards. Let me look for the khabar first. And then you will look for the khabar and then you will think about the kitab, that why kitab is fatha. What is the reason? Is it a wrong sentence or there's some other reason? But you will never say that kitab is khabar because you know kitab is always marfu. How do you know that? Why will you not declare the kitab is the khabar? Because you know the Arab. You know the Arab of khabar is always marfu, and you know you have the tool to identify, to decide the Arab of the word by looking at the haraka, looking at the vowel sign, if it is a one word, if it's mufrad. But if it is representing two people or more than two people, then now looking at this chart, you know that for two people, alif will be the sign of marfu and waw will be the sign of marfu for many. So al muslimani mujtahidani, it's about two Muslims. So we know al muslimani, this alif is telling us that this is marfu. Here in jama, al muslimuna, this waw is telling us that this is marfu. Is everything clear, sisters? We have done this before. This is just a revision. We shouldn't be even spending that much time on single slide because I have around 60 slides, little less than that, and we have much lesser time. So type of nouns in terms of quantity. So right now we have seen the nouns and we have seen the Arab. Now it's about mufrad, muthanna, and jama. Connected to the previous slide, you can say tabibun means one doctor. Kitabun means one book, isn't it? But tabibani, two doctors. Kitabani, two books. How do we change from single word into two? How do we say, if we want to say two doctors, we'll simply add alif and noon to the original word. Kitabun means one book. You want to say two books, just add kitabani. Tabibun means one doctor. You want to say two doctors, you will simply add alif and noon, it'll become tabibani. So ism, from the point of view of numbers, is of three types. It could be singular, dual, or plural. So we have seen singular and dual. What about the plural? Plural has got more than one type. But how will we make plural? We will make plural by adding waw and noon. Waw and noon. So plurals are of three types. There are more types, but let's say three types we have discussed here. It could be sound masculine plural, it could be sound feminine plural, or it could be a broken plural. So this brings us to the board again. What is broken plural? Broken plural is a word when you take a singular word. Let's say you take the word tabibun, a doctor. Now we want to say many doctors. So how will you make? You can't just add waw noon, because this word has got a broken plural. Let's see, the broken plural for tabibun is atibau. Atibau means many doctors. But what's happening? Tabibun has got a ya. Do we see any ya in the plural form? No. In the plural form, we see alif here and hamza here. Is there any alif hamza here? There is none. There we see hamza in the end. Is there any hamza here in the end? No, there is none. So this is how we know that this broken plural is the plural in which, in the process of making broken plural, we change the singular word. We may take something, we may give something to the word, we may just change the sequence of the whole word, and then hence it will become broken plural. Now somebody may ask this question. Look at this word muslimatun here, abidatun, for example. What is the plural for that? Abidatun. Say, one may say, okay, I understand abidun was male and then abidatun, but when we are doing abidatun and we say abidatun, okay, sisters, tell me, abidatun, is it a sound plural or a broken plural? It's a sound plural. One may say, but we added alif and ta. We took this ta marbuta out. So how is it broken plural? Anybody is thinking like this? We said we don't change the plural word. We simply add something to it. But here one may think that salihatun is written, but when we make the plural, we add alif and ta, and this ta marbuta is gone. So how come it is a sound plural when we said it is a sound plural? There should not be anything missing from the original. Who thinks there is some doubt here? If you are getting my point, sisters, when we make a broken plural like kitabun is a word, but when we make plural, it becomes kutubun. So we change the word. So what is happening here? We are also taking this ta marbuta out. Salihatun, when we make the plural, we say salihatun. It means we have deleted this ta. So why are we not calling it broken plural and we are calling it sound plural? Because the original word is abidun. Everything is happening on this word. This is the original word. When you wanted to make masculine plural, you added waw and noon. When you wanted to make a singular plural, you added ta marbuta. When you wanted to add more than two, then you added alif and ta here. You didn't add alif and ta here. You did not add here. This is your original word. Let's say muslimun. Muslimun, muslimatun, and muslimatun. You understand? I hope everybody's getting it. Is it clear, sisters? You are adding alif and ta to this word abidatun, salihatun, alimatun, sadiqatun. Sahi? Alhamdulillah. Okay, so this is jama. And then we have done ismul ishara. Hada, hadihi, ulaika, haulai. So alhamdulillah, I hope everybody knows that. What do we use ismul ishara for? When we point towards something, we say hada if it is masculine, singular. If it is feminine, we say hadihi. If that is masculine, but it is far from us, so we say dhalika. So basically dhalika is that in English, right? Here we go. Hada, hadihi, dhalika, tilka. In English, we don't have any differentiation. They both are this and that. But in Arabic, alhamdulillah, we have much more precision here. So hada and hadihi are the masculine and feminine form of nearby. Dhalika and tilka is the masculine and feminine form for far. Ulaika, on the other hand, is the plural form of dhalika and tilka. Here, haulai is not given, it's missing, but haulai is the plural form of hada and hadi. We've done it in so much detail. I hope there should be no confusions here. And this is something, treatment of aqil versus ghair aqil. So sisters, what you see today in the slides are, there's some different slides as well. They are kind of notes. So as I said to you in the beginning, maybe for revision, it is very good. You can just go through quickly what is written instead of flipping through the PDF of the slides and trying to understand what is written where. So for the reading and just a quick revision, inshallah, that will be very, very helpful. So we say hada kitabun for singular item, and for one car, we say hadi sayaratun. Likewise, we would have said haulai muslimatun if they are near. And if they were far, we will say, sorry, if they were far, we will say haulai muslimatun. But can we say haulai sayaratun? No. Why? Because when we have an object which is an animal or an object which is in the plural form, then we apply the rules of singular feminine. I hope everybody remembers that. We don't say haulai, we say hadihi. We don't say hum, we say here. Sahi? Okay. Then mudaf, mudaf ilayh. We have many slides and we are almost coming to the end of the class. Mudaf, mudaf ilayh. What is mudaf, mudaf ilayh? It is the ownership or relationship. Kitabu Bilalin, Baitu Zaidin, Qalamu Yasirin, Ibnu Yasirin, right? So, once again, you will look at these slides and inshallah, it'll be a good revision for you. One thing which we haven't done too much is this, and this time it was in the exam as well. So this is called nested mudaf mudaf ilayh. In this one, there are two set of mudaf mudaf ilayh in one sentence. So masjidu is mudaf and rasuli is mudaf ilayh. Let's look at the English. Mosque of the Prophet. So mosque is what? Mosque is mudaf and of the Prophet is mudaf ilayh. But then continuation is the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Prophet is mudaf and Ismul Jalala is mudaf mudaf ilayh. Like you had some question this time in your weekly test. So this is nested mudaf mudaf ilayh. One word can be mudaf and it can also be mudaf ilayh. Other word can be mudaf ilayh and it can also be playing the role of mudaf. We will look at the test questions as well. We have that in the slide, Sister Nazneen. So don't worry, inshallah, we will do that. But let's finish this and then we will move to those questions. So this is mudaf mudaf ilayh. Yeah, there are certain rules to mudaf mudaf ilayh. We all know that mudaf will not accept tanween, mudaf will not accept alif lam, and mudaf ilayh, it will always be majroor, right? There are 5 things given here, but this you can just sum up very, very clearly that mudaf ilayh will be only majroor. When you say only majroor, it means it's not going to be marfu, it's not going to be mansoob. So if you just say mudaf ilayh is always majroor, you cut down these 5 conditions into straight away 3 conditions. I hope you are getting it. Then we have seen zarf. Zarf is what? Zarf is an adverb which indicates either time or place. So we say, when we say like this, for example, khalfa or amama or tahta, then we are talking about the placement under or in front of or behind. So this is the adverb which is giving us some idea about the place, that the dharful makan. And others called dharful zaman, which gives us an idea about the time. So we say morning, afternoon, before, after, ba'da, qabla, all of these are called dharf. The thing like we have studied for harf jar, that the word which comes after harf jar will affect that word and make that word majroor. So we will say that word is ismun majroorun. Zarf does the same thing. The word which comes after zarf, however, is not called ism majroor. The word which comes after zarf is always with the kasra, if it accepts a kasra. So amam al bayti, you see al bayti, but we will not call it ism majroor. Rather, we will say it is mudaf ilayh. This is the rule. So simply remember, and this was also in the question, I believe, in the weekly test. Yes, alhamdulillah, it was there. So the word which comes after zarf, you will not call it ism majroor. You will call it mudaf ilayh. You may say that ism majroor and mudaf ilayh, they look same. Okay, they both look same. They both are majroor, but are they one? If that was the case, then the file and the khabar would be one. File and mubtada will be one because they both are also marfu. So something having the same sign does not mean that they are playing the same role. You understand, sisters? Okay, then we've studied naat and manut, or sifa or mausuf. So what is naat and manut? Naat is basically an adjective. Like in English, you say old house, new house, big house, small house. So what is this about? It's about the house. That house is called in English noun qualifier. In Arabic, you call it man'ud, because it's this house you're talking about, right? In English, you say new house, big house, old house, small house. So you're talking about house, but you are giving different qualities to that. In English, the quality will come first, the adjective will come first, and then the noun come about which you are talking. In Arabic, first the man'ut will come. So baytu jadid, and in English you will say new house. You see, new is coming first. In Arabic, it comes afterwards. The most important thing here is we have discussed these things in just a very tiny detail, just touched upon it. We didn't go into the detail because time was really, we didn't have much space during the lessons to do that, and I didn't want you to get confused as well. But I hope all of you know that naat and manut must match in 4 things. How do you decide this word jadidun is the naat for bayt and not a khabar or not something else? It has to go through checks, and those 4 checks it has to match. So what are they? They should match the gender. Look at the example. هذه بنت صغيرة. This is a small girl. So bintun is man'ut, so saghiratun is the naat. It's not saghirun, saghiratun. So they both are matching right now in gender. Another example, indefinite versus definite. Look, mudarrisun jadidun, no alif lam in man'ut, no alif lam in naat. Right? Third one, case. Case means here Arab. So baytun marfu, jadidun is also marfu. Here fi is coming, so baytin. So if man'ut is majroor, then the naat also should be majroor. You can't say fi baytin jadidun. Then jadidun is something else. It's not a naat. For it to be naat, it needs to match all of these things. Fourth thing is number. Tullabun jududun. So tullab is plural and judud is the plural as well. But single student, we say talibun jadidun. Talibun is the man'ut. Talibun is the noun to which you are giving some adjective. And jadidun is also singular. You can't say tullabun jadidun. It's not going to be naat then. You can't say talibun jududun. That is also not going to be naat. So naat and manut, they must match in four things. Like we've seen mubtada khabar, they must match in number, right? They must match in gender. Likewise, in the naat and manut, they must match in four things. Now, upcoming slide, if you understand, it is fine. If you don't understand, ignore it. That's not going to come in the exam. But if you know that, that's something beautiful, especially when you open the Quran and you're trying to understand the Arab, then you might get confused if you don't match the four things. Now, look at this one. Kitabul Mudarrisi al-Jadidu. Now, this is the naat, al-Jadidu, but this is the naat for Mudarris or Kitab? This is the naat for kitab, not for mudarris. Why? Let's quickly run through the checks. We have four checks. Naat has got alif lam. Let's see, we're thinking this mudarris is a manut. Is it alif lam? Yes, one thing is done. Jadid is singular. Mudarris is singular, right? They both are singular. What the third thing? Gender. Mudarris is masculine. Jadid is masculine. Last thing left is Arab. Let's check. Al-Jadidu. This is marfu. Al-Mudarrisi. Oh, this is majroor. This cannot be the naat because they are not matching. Go to the word before that. Marfu, marfu. Kitab marfu, al-jadid marfu. Kitab singular, al-jadid singular. Kitab is masculine, al-jadid is masculine. Kitab is definite and al-jadid is definite. So they both are matching. So this is the naat for kitab. In English, you can see it clearly. The teacher's new book. The teacher's new book. Because why this is naat is not coming just after manut? Because mudaf, mudaf ilayh cannot be separated. They always have to come together. You can't put a word between mudaf and mudaf ilayh. Hence, kitabul mudarrisi, teacher's book, is coming together because this is mudaf, mudaf ilayh, and al-jadid, which is the naat for mubtada, is sorry for this mudaf, is going and coming in the end. Now, one thing, as I've said in the beginning as well, who thinks that all not match? Okay, one sister said all not match. Sister Sajina, better you write in the chat box, which is questions, please chat here. What do you think where it does not match? Who thinks all does not match? Between Kitab and Al-Jadid. I said all four things match. Sister Sarah is saying definite and indefinite. Very good. So Sister Sarah perhaps is thinking this is Al, so this is definite. Kitab has got no Al. But remember we said in the beginning, when Mudaf, Mudaf ilayh will come, Mudaf is always going to be definite because of the position. This word Kitab is Marifa is definite by the position. Is it clear, sisters? We have seen this in the beginning of today's lesson, that the word can be marifa by alif lam, can be definite by alif lam, or if it is coming as a mudaf, then it's a likelihood that it will become also marifa. So here, Kitabul Mudarrisi, whose book? It's not any book, it's the book of the teacher. So this is marifa. So hence, we reached this conclusion that Al-Jadid matches this kitab. Go to the second example. Here, if you will run through the checks, last thing will get stuck. You want to match Al-Jadid to Kitab like you have done here. But Kitab is marfu and Al-Jadid is majroor. So you can't say that this time that Al-Jadid is the naat for Kitab. So you go and check with this one. We have seen before as well, everything was matching. Now this time they both have kasra. So this is matching as well. And if you have any difficulty, look at the transition. The new teacher's book. So what is the naat for? What is the adjective coming for? For the teacher, al-mudarris al-jadid. Here it was teacher's new book. So we were defining books quality being new. So kitab al-jadid. I hope everybody got that. This is important, sisters. If you can just work on that when you receive these slides, try to understand. Here are the examples given as well. So just go through a few times, inshallah, you'll get it. Badal. This is a subject, sisters were a bit confused on that. We'll not spend too much time on that. It's very simple. When we have Hada Kitabun, it is Hada is Mubtada, Kitab is Khabar, means this is a book. But simply put, if you put Alif Lam here, Hada Kitabu, then the translation will become this book. So when you say this book, if I say this book and I become quiet, are you going to be happy? No, you will be looking for more meanings. If I say this book, it gives you no meaning. You are not satisfied. This is what the khabar is. What is the meaning of khabar? Why are we always looking for khabar in noun sentence in jumla ismiya? Because just mubtada is not enough. It does not satisfy the listener. They want to know what is coming next. If I say this book, you will think, what after this book? This book is new, old, interesting, not interesting. But if I say hadal kitabu jadidun, this book is new, then you are satisfied. So badal is briefly put, you find a definite noun after ismul ishara, that is a badal. Just remember this, and inshallah that will be sufficient for this exam. Examples, as we've seen, hada kitabun is a proper sentence. You can understand it. Hada kitabun, this is the book. If we say hada kitabu, means this book. Now it doesn't give you any meaning. You need to come with the khabar. So you will come with khabar, jadidun, qadimun, any sort of khabar you want to come with, and you'll say this book is new. I hope everybody is clear with that, sisters. Types of pronouns. There are two types of pronouns you studied: detached pronoun and attached pronoun. But the thing is, pronouns can also have i'rab, right? We all know that. So if you have a sentence, Zaid lives in India. First of all, pronoun can only be used once a proper noun has been introduced. So if I tell you right now, he came, he said, you must be thinking, who am I talking about? If I say my brother Ahmed, who works somewhere, and I give you the whole story about him, and then I say he came, he said, he told me that, he guided me in that, he advised me that. Now you know who am I talking about. So you must know the person you are talking about. So we are decided in one thing, that pronoun is introduced only after the listener is aware, or the reader is aware who we are talking about. So what we are trying to say in this half a slide is, what I'm trying to say is this, that pronoun can also have i'rab. Pronoun can also play the role as the proper word would have played. So I could say Zaidun Talibun, or I can say Huwa Talibun. Now I don't want to repeat his name, so I'm using pronoun. But the crux of this slide is that Huwa or Who, yani detached pronoun or attached pronoun, they can also have the i'rab. So this Huwa is Mubtada. Baytuhu is who is Mudaf ilayh. I could have said Baytu Zaidin, but I don't want to repeat his name, so I'm saying Baytuhu. So Bayt is the house, and who is mudaf ilayh. Likewise, Katabtu. This is also muttasil pronoun, attached pronoun. Kataba means it's an action of writing. If I say Katabtu, means I wrote. So I'm not mentioning my name here, but this pronoun is indicating I'm talking about myself. So then these pronouns, detached pronouns, will mostly come, because here we seen the i'rab, right? That they can have i'rab, but what i'rab they can have? They can be mubtada. Huwa Zaidun, huwa is mubtada, and Zaidun is khabar. So they come in the beginning of a noun sentence. The noun which comes in the beginning of the noun sentence is always mubtada. One may ask at this point, okay, mubtada is always marfu, but I can see a big fat fatha here at the top of waw. There is no dhamma, but we will go about these things in book 2, inshallah. Yeah, this is called mabni. They don't change. They stay the way they are, right? We'll talk about it some other time. Today's class will not go into the detail. So just understand huwa, or all of these damar, all of these pronouns, their i'rab is marfu. Wherever they will come, most likely they are going to be marfu. But when we talk about attached pronouns, which here's the list of attached pronouns, right? Who, ha, na, we know all of these. So they can come in two forms. Either they can come in majroor form, or they can come in mansoob form. First, majroor. When we say sayyaratuhu, his car. So sayyara is mudaf, and who is mudaf ilayh. Mudaf ilayh is always majroor. So here it is coming as this who. When it is attached with the noun, the i'rab is mudaf ilayh majroor. But then this who can also be connected with harf jar. Ila means to. So if we say attach this who to ila, It'll become ilayhi. Ilayhi. Ilayhi means to him. Or we can say ilayya. Yeah, ilayya, towards me. Or ilayna, towards us. So this is majroor, ism majroor. Here it was mudaf ilay majroor. Here it is ism majroor. Whatever the case may be, here they both are coming in place of majroor. Attached pronoun can also come in the place of nasb. Their i'rab can be mansoob as well. We haven't studied that, but I thought it's a good idea to at least give you some idea, some food for thought. Inshallah, we will see that in the first chapter of book 2, that how attached pronoun can come in the place of mansoob. When I say in place of mansoob, it means how can they come with the i'rab of mansoob. Is everybody clear with that, sisters? Yeah, it is very, very simple. This who, what is the i'rab of who? Mudaf ilay majroor. This is sayyaratuhu. It could be sayyaratu zaydin. What would be the i'rab of zaydin? Mudaf ilay majroor. Here it is ilayhi. It could be ila zaydin, means towards zayd. What would be the i'rab? Ila is harf jar, zayd is ism majroor. Instead of using their names, we are just using their pronoun. If you were using Fatima, you could say sayyaratuha or ilayha. They both would have same thing. Is everybody clear with that? I have another question. All those having a cup of tea, come back, please. What will we say? Sayyaratu Fatimati, right? Like Sayyaratu Zaydin or Sayyaratu Fatimatin. What is the right answer? Fatimatin or Fatimati? If you think tin, then choose one. If you think ti, then choose two. Okay. Sister Sara chose two. Barakallah fiqh. Very good, sister. Very good, mashallah. I've spent nice time. Only one sister said is tiptoed, hence there will be no two sisters. Kasra. How Fatima can have a kasra? Tanween is also a kasra and kasra is also a kasra. It will be Fatimata. Sayyaratu Fatimata. Neither one, neither two. My both choices were wrong. I cannot say Fatimatin. I cannot say Fatimati. I must say Fatimata. Baytu Aishata. We have done that last time in the example. Remember, sisters, Fatima is a diptote. Fatima is mamnu min as-sarf, and hence it will not accept kasra. It will not accept tanween. So you will say Fatima ta. No problem, Sister Nadine. This is okay. There's no confusion. No need to apologize. This is good that every time we see something, our mind should be quickly working and looking at the word, not just thinking mudafile is always majroor, so we close our eyes and put kasra or tanween under it. Okay, this is another type of muttasil attached pronoun, which is connected with the verb only. We have seen this one as well, right? Sister Aisha, we will come to that. Sister is asking, what about Al-Hind and Al-Yaban? There was kasra in that, although they are foreign names. We'll come to that. Just wait, inshallah. Then we've seen relative pronoun. What does relative pronoun do? It's the benefit is to provide accurate detail. There's more detail to, excuse me. There is more detail to relative pronoun, but we've just, as I said, in book 1, many things are just like an introduction to give you an idea so that you can think of these things. And when you see the Quran, you know, okay, you know something about that. And when you go to the higher levels, you go to book 2 and different levels, then you have some sort of foundation there. So it gives you a more accurate detail, right? So alladhi can be used for intelligent beings and non-intelligent beings. So you see, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس. This is translated as who. Here, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. الذي جمع مالا وعدد. Who collects wealth and continuously counts. This is referring to human being. So the translation is coming as who. But here, sorry about that, I got briefly disconnected. So here when we see A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Shahru Ramadan alladhi unzila fihi al-Quran. Now, Shahr, month, is not human being, it's not intelligent being. So translation is which. The crux is a relative pronoun gives you more accurate detail. In the Quran, you will find it alladhi, alladhina, allati in many forms. So I hope everybody is clear. One question I have. Month of Ramadan. This is Mudaf ilayh. But why it's a fatha, not Shahru Ramadani? What is the reason for that? Barakallah fiqh, this is diptote, right? Very good. This is why Shahru Ramadana, not Ramadani. Okay, so this is the detail about Ismul Mawsul, what we have seen in the previous slide. You can read it in your own time. Type of sentences are two: verb sentence and noun sentence. What begins with the noun is a noun sentence. What begins with the verb is a verb sentence. So verb sentence have got two pillars: fail and file, action and the doer of the action. We have seen few of the verbs like kataba, dhahaba, kharaja. We've seen few examples as well. Dhahaba Hamidun ila al-madrasati. Dhahaba is the verb and Hamid is the one who is the doer. As I said in the beginning, we haven't done a lot in verbs, so there is really not much to say. Alhamdulillah, we have covered them all in much detail. Then Jumla Ismiya. This slide also will give you everything written at one place. So a sentence that starts with the noun is called Mubtada, right? The sentence has got subject and a predicate, which is Mubtada and Khabar. So Al-Kitab is Mubtada. What is the i'rab of Mubtada? It is Marfu. And what type of noun it is? Marifa or Nakira? It is Marifa. We see Alif Lam here. So Mubtada will always be Marifa, or most of the time it will be Marifa. Let's put it this way. Khabar is Nakira. Look, Jadidun. This is the Khabar and this is Marfu because it's Dhamma. But Nakira, there is no Alif and Lam. So I hope we all know this so well that we don't really need to spend much time in that. Once again, the pillars of noun sentence are Mubtada and Khabar. These are some examples from past. Al-Maktabu Maksurun, the desk is broken. Al-Mudarrisu Jadidun. Al-Mudarris is Mubtada, look, coming with Alif Lam. Jadid is indefinite, no Alif Lam. So this is the Khabar. The teacher is new. And Mubtada and Khabar, they all are always Marfu. Anwa'ul Khabar, types of Khabar. If the Khabar is coming as one, Khabar can be coming in one word, like this, Al-Kitabu Jadidun. The book is new. Al-Quranu Kitabullahi. Who thinks Kitabullahi is Khabar? Sister Taslima will do that in 1 minute, inshallah. Here only Kitab is the Khabar. Remember, sisters, don't say Kitabullahi is the Khabar. Only Kitab is the Khabar. Al-Quran is Mubtada. Kitab is Khabar. It is also Mudaf. Lafzul Jalala is Mudaf ilay. Kitabullahi. The Kitab is Khabar and Mudaf. Not Kitabullahi is the whole, is not the Khabar, because we're talking in Mufrad. You see, Mufrad means one word. We cannot have two words and say this is Khabar and also put it in the category of Mufrad. That would be wrong. Khabar can also come as Shibul Jumla, Jar Majrur, or Zarf Shibul Jumla. So in this example, Al-Kitabu, the book, Al-Maktabi is on the desk. So this is the Jar Majrur Shibul Jumla Khabar. So this is Harf Jar. Al-Maktab is Ism Majrur. We have seen, I think, in previous slides that together we will call it, in the first slide, together we will call it, perhaps I didn't mention in this class, if you put these two together, but we have done in previous lessons, we will not call them Harf Jar wa Ism Majrur. You can say that, but just to make it brief, you could say it is Jar Majrur. Jar Majrur, every time you hear the word Jar Majrur, understand when somebody says Jar Majrur, it means it's a combination of two words. First word is Harf Jar and second word is some other noun. So this will be called Jar Majrur Shibul Jumla Khabar. And this type of a question was in the exam as well this time. Al-Kitabu Tahta al-Maktabi. Al-Kitab is Mubtada. Tahta is what? Tahta is Zarf. Al-Maktabi is Mudaf ilayh. We just seen a while ago that the word which comes after Zarf is called Mudaf ilayh. So we will say this is a Zarf Shibul Jumla Khabar. You will not say Jar Majrur Shibul Jumla Khabar because there's no Harf Jar. Remember that. You will say Jar Majrur only when you see any Harf Jar. If Harf Jar is not there, then you can't say Jar Majrur. And then Khabar could be Jumla. Khabar could be sentence. We've been looking it throughout the course, especially this part. Bilalun kharaja min al-fasli. Bilal, he left from the classroom. At-talibatu dhahabna ila al-madrasati. Female students, they went to the madrasa. And this is Jumla Ismiya. We've done it in the last two lessons. Hamidun, Hamid, his brother is a minister. Fatima, she has a car, or with her a car. Remember that there is a link. There is a link. You've done this exercise before. Have a look at this. Zaid, if we say Zaid and then after Kitab we don't mention the link, then how would we prove this belongs to or this relates to Zaid? So let's say if I say Zaid, book is new. What makes me think that these two sentences are connected? Or if I say Zaid, her book is new, then this word, if I put her here, then this her is not reflecting Zaid because Zaid is masculine. So how can I say this is a mubtada and this is the khabar? It must have a link, like we have Zaid to who, Fatima, we have link ha, Tullab, the proper appropriate damir for many students is hum. When we're talking about many sisters, talibatun, it must be fasluhunna. There was a question in the exam which was having a wrong link. So you cannot think that that is a correct sentence. That was a wrong sentence. I hope everybody is clear with that. One important thing which we have discussed few times, it is possible that mubtada comes late and khabar comes early. So let's say in general situation, just I'm giving you an example so you can understand it, inshallah. Mubtada and khabar, among mubtada and khabar, mubtada is strong. So when they both enter into a building compound and they want to reach a room which is called noun sentence, mubtada has got more strength. So mubtada will reach quickly there, enter in the room and sit on the first chair. Khalas, done. And khabar will come afterward because khabar is a little bit slow, a little bit less in the strength. It takes time to walk. So it will come and the second chair is empty, so khabar will sit there. But that is the case. Mubtada is strong when mubtada is definite. Look at this one. Ar-rajulu, alif lam is there, right? Mubtada is strong, so mubtada came first and the khabar came afterwards. This khabar is shibul jumla. We said they two are walking towards room. We are not talking about mubtada walking with some other form of khabar. Mubtada and shibul jumla, they are walking with each other. Now here, rajulun, look, the mubtada has lost alif and lam. So when they both enter into the building compound, mubtada is nakira, mubtada is indefinite, mubtada do not have alif lam attached to that. So mubtada in this case, when it is not definite, it is not very strong. Whereas shibul jumla khabar has got the normal strength, is higher than mubtada. So when they both are walking, shibul jumla reaches the door first of noun sentence, quickly gets in the door and sit in the first chair. And mubtada reaches the door afterwards, enter the room late, and it takes the second chair. So I hope if you can think like this, you will understand mubtada has to be indefinite and khabar has to be shibul jumla. Now that could be a combination of harf jar and ism majroor. In other words, it could be a combination of jar majroor, or it could be a combination of zarf and mudaf ilayh, like this one. See, but both are shibul jumla. Remember, they both are shibul jumla. They both are different types of shibul jumla. One shibul jumla consists of harf jar and ism majroor. Other type of shibul jumla consists of zarf and mudaf ilayh. I hope it is clear. Then we've done adad, numbers. Alhamdulillah, we know numbers are of two types. Numbers can be masculine and numbers can be feminine. So when we are putting these numbers along with the noun which we are counting, when we're talking about 3 to 10, then the number will always come as mudaf. It means it will not accept tanween, it will not accept alif lam. And the ma'dud, the thing which we are counting, will always come as mudaf ilayh. And mudaf ilayh is always majroor. So it will be majroor. But one other thing is they both will not match with each other in gender. You see, when we were dealing with the naat, in past we dealt with the mubtada khabar, we see that mubtada and khabar must match. We see naat and manut must match. Here we must make sure they both do not match. So the thing you are counting is masculine, number will be feminine. Thing you are counting is feminine, number will be masculine. For example, talib. If you want to say 3 students, Tullabun, so you will go and look for the singular. Tullab, what's the singular? Talibun. What talibun, is it masculine or feminine? It is masculine. So when you want to say 3 students, you will pick the feminine side. You say Thalathatu Tullabin, 3 students. But if you are counting female students, Talibatun, so you will not look at the plural. Go and check the singular. Singular is Talibatun. Tamarbuta. It means that is feminine. So the number, can you pick? Can you say 3 female students and say thalathatun? No, you have to say thalathun because they are always opposite. So you say thalathu talibatin. Thalathu talibatin. So this is the same thing what we have just said, and alhamdulillah, you all are aware of that. Last thing, mamnu min as-sarf, diptote. Come at the bottom and everything will just become clear very, very quickly. Diptotes can be called, mamnu min as-sarf can be called diptote. In English, we call diptote. In Arabic, is mamnu min as-sarf. Other type of words is called morab or triptote. So look at the example. First, look at the bottom one. Kitabun, kitaban, kitabin. It is accepting all 3 situations. Dhamma, fatha, kasra. But what is happening with mamnu min as-sarf? It will accept marfu, dhamma, khalas. No tanween, but still marfu. Masajid is still fatha, no tanween. What happened to majroor? Neither it is able to accept tanween, nor it is able to accept kasra. It only accepts fatha. That's the only difference between tiptote and diptote here. They cannot, diptotes cannot accept tanween and cannot accept kasra. Is it clear, sisters? No tanween, no kasra. Khalas, end of the story. These are the types of the words which can be diptote. Any name, feminine name, whether in the meaning, whether in the spelling, or whether in both, they will not accept tanween. Non-Arab names, Yusuf, Ibrahim, William, London, Pakistan, George, they will not accept it. Numbers ending with alif and noon, sorry, names ending with alif and noon, Uthman, Ramadan, any names coming on the pattern of af'alu, Ahmadu, Akbaru, Ajmalu, Anwaru, they will not accept. Any adjectives, kaslan, lazy, jaw'an, hungry, alif noon is there, it will not accept. Any names of the color on the pattern of af'alu. So basically, if you see closely, they both are same. They both are the same pattern. Af'alu, this is the name, and this is the name of the color, right? So this is af'alu, aswadu, abyadu, ahmaru, not accept tanween, not accept kasra. And these are the patterns from some of the broken plurals. Not all broken plurals are mamnu min as-sarf. Sisters have made mistake in exam. The word was aqlam. Aqlam is the jama of pen, qalam. Aqlam is a broken plural, but aqlam is not mamnu min as-sarf. Aqlam is not diptote. Aqlam is triptote. Likewise, I say tulab. Talib is one word, singular. Tulab is jama taksir, broken plural, many students. But is tulab mamnu min as-sarf? No, we can say tulabun, tulaban, tulabin. Sahih. So I hope it is clear. I know you all have some questions regarding the test. We'll come to that, inshallah. But these are the ones which are mamnu min as-sarf, and these are things given here. Once again, we have gone through this perhaps in last or second last lesson, so there's no point spending time on that. Here we come to our exam paper. First question was, not first question, one of the question was, okay, here's the translation. Read the translation, it will become clear. This is the example of nested mudaf mudaf alayh. Door of car, of teacher, of old school are big. So what is abwabus? Make it piece by piece. Abwabus sayyaratin, door of car of the teacher of old school are big. So qadimatin, there's no harakat given just because you were supposed to be tested, right? If all the harakat would given, it would have become very, very simple. But the idea was just to give you some sort of thing so you can think about it. So abwab is mudaf, as you can see, it is written here. Sayyara is mudaf and also mudaf ilayh. Mudarris is also mudaf and mudaf ilayh. It's sayyara to mudarrisi. So for sayyara it is mudaf. Sayyara is mudaf and mudarrisi is mudaf ilayh. But mudarrisu madrasatin, teacher of the school. So mudarris is mudaf, madrasatin is mudaf ilayh, and qadimatin, as you can see in the translation, old school. So old cannot be mudaf ilayh, it is inat, isn't it? And khabar is kabiratun. Khabar is kabiratun. Okay, sister Khola is saying, why kabirun not naat? I thought it's naat for abwabu. If you thought naat for abwabu, then what is this kabiratun doing? Can something be old and big? Qadimatun kabiratun, not making sense. Another thing is, if there were new words which you did not know the meaning, yes, your confusion was acceptable. Yeah, because you don't know the word, so you don't know the meaning, and you can make a mistake in making a relationship. But here, sisters, no word is new. You could simply have thought in your mind, okay, this is doors of the car, of the teacher, of the school, of the old. No, school of the old is not correct. Old school is correct. Ah, big. Okay, we are talking about the door. So you just need to think a little bit. Think a little bit. Sahi? Okay, Sister Khola is saying doors are big. Are they not Nath and Manut? So tell me, sisters, Abwabu Kabiratun, how? How can they become Nath and Manut? We have got so many things coming in here. We will ignore everything and we will just make a relationship to them too, and we will let them go. What are we going to do with these words? The sentence has to be decided in whole, isn't it? Where is the four? Okay, Sister Nuzat is saying 4 cases not matching. Brilliant. What is not matching? Let's do it. Kabiratun has got no alif lam. Abwab has got no alif lam. Say Abwab is marfu. Kabira is marfu. Maybe you have a question that Abwab is plural. So why Kabiratun is singular? But sisters, do you forget when we make plural of ghair aqil, we treat them as singular? Isn't it the case? Abwabun is feminine now. Bab is masculine, but as soon as it becomes plural, it is feminine, first of all. So it is matching with this feminine. Kabiratun, Abwab is also feminine. Then another question could be, Abwab is plural. This is something I already said. I'm sorry. Abwab is plural of some object, so it is feminine. So this feminine is matching with this feminine. Okay, Sister Amatullah is saying Kabiratun is indefinite, Abwabun is definite. This is possible, sister. It's not necessarily have to be Al Kabiratu. This is possible. You can say that. Moving to the next one. How many mudaf are there? So as we can see, Abwab is mudaf, Sayara is mudaf, Mudarris is mudaf. So the correct answer is 3. How many mudaf ilay are there? Sayara is mudaf ilay, Mudarris is mudaf ilay, and Madrasa is mudaf ilay. So they are 3 here. So 3 mudaf and 3 mudaf ilay. Answer of choices were 3 and 4, 3 and 4. So 3 is the correct answer here. Then it was, this is the question many sisters were asking. Is it grammatically correct? ذهب زيد إلى اليابان وذهب حامد إلى مكة. Let me just give you the answer for this as well once again. You see, the sister, I forgot the name, who was saying, oh, Sister Amatullah. You see, it is Kabiratun here. We have studied in our chapter that even if we make plural, we can use singular. So there are always more to what we are studying. If we will go into too much detail, then we will lose the asl, and we will lose the track of things. So just wait for us to move to the new sections, and inshallah things will come, and there we will be able to see a lot of things which we thought are not possible, but that are possible. One of the examples we will just say, the names which are foreign names are all mamnu min as-sarf. Yusufu, Ismailu, for the places, Pakistana, Londana. So what is happening here? Two options. ذهب زيد إلى اليابان. But this answer is wrong. The correct answer is ذهب زيد إلى اليابان. What is happening? What is happening is, it was touched upon a little bit in the last lesson, when mamnu min as-sarf will come with the alif and lam. Alif and lam will cancel the characteristics of mamnu min as-sarf. It will not remain mamnu min as-sarf. It will accept kasra. Here you see al-yabani. ذهب زيد إلى اليابان وذهب حامد إلى مكة, because Makkah did not have any alif lam. Al-Yaban has got alif lam, right? Look at this word, masajida, masajidu, right? Masajidu, if you cannot say masajidi, you will say masajida. But if you want to say masajidi for anything, add alif lam and you are able to say al-masajidi. Without alif lam, this is diptot. This is mamnu min as-sarf. You cannot make it masajidi. But if you just put alif lam with any of these, you will make it masajidi. But somebody might say, why, where it is, Japan has got alif lam. So this is not you and me made it. This is masmua. This is how Arabs call it. So if they have the name which they call it with alif lam, then this is how it's going to stay there, right? For example, China is as-Sin, Philippines is al-Philippine, so they will accept kasra. But the places like London, can we say, okay, because I added alif lam to masajida and made it al-masajidi, so can you add alif lam to London and say al-Londani? Or can you add alif lam to Paris, which is Paris, and say al-Barisi? No, you cannot say that, sister. The words which are masmu, the words you have heard like this from Arabs where they are using al, khalas, you will use with al. But if there is no al, then you can't add al. But there are some words like masajid, fanadik, zumala, fuqara, all of these words, if you come with alif and lam, then the characteristic of mamnu min as-sarf will be cancelled. However, I have a question. If I just said masajidu is mamnu min as-sarf, here we have, and I said we can say masajidi if we add alif and lam. So it means when we added alif and lam, we are able to say al masajidi. Can we add tanween as well? We should be, isn't it? Why not? It's no more mamnu min as-sarf. Sister Antul is saying yes. Barakallah feek, sisters. Sisters who said no, sisters Mullah said correctly because of alif lam. Of course, the word al-masajidi is no more a mamnu min as-sarf, but alif lam will not let it accept tanween. I hope everybody understood that. Okay, one last thing is about the type of the khabar. So when we say Fatimatu dhahaba Zaydun ila al-masjidi, this was a wrong sentence. It's grammatically incorrect, because how can I say Fatima is Muqtada and Zahaba Zaydun is ismul jumla failure coming as khabar for Fatima? Where is the connection? Where is the link? There's no link. Look, Fatima, Zayd went to the masjid. Does it make any sense? Rather, if we say Fatimatu zahabat ila al-masjidi, now it makes sense. Fatima is our Muqtada. Zahabat ila al-masjidi is the khabar. And what is linking this sentence with Fatima? This ta'u tanis. So we know that the doer was a female, and this is the female we are talking about. Like we've seen in previous examples, we can say Zaydun kitabu jadidun, but we cannot say Zaydun kitabuha jadidun. I hope it is clear. Yes, sister MF, when we add alif and lam, diptote lose its restriction. It's no more a diptote, it'll become a triptote word. And then this is the last one. Surprisingly, some sisters made mistakes in that because perhaps you didn't think carefully that after harf jar, ism majroor will come. But qabla, is it harf jar? So if anybody who said for ism majroor, they made a mistake. Look, harf jar, ism majroor, harf jar, ism majroor, harf jar, ism majroor. So there are 3 harf jar, 3 ism majroor. The 4th one is not a harf jar. It is a zarf. So the word which will come after zarf is mudaf ilayh. So you can't say there are 4 ism majroor. There are 3 ism majroor, different. I hope it is clear, sisters. So the noun which comes after harf jar is called ism majroor, and the noun which comes after zarf is called mudaf ilayh. So ilal masjidi, min al bayti, al masjid and al bayti we will call ism majroor. But can we say ind al mudiri and ba'd al salati, al mudir and al salat are ism majroor? For them to be ism majroor, there must be a harf jar before that and not the zarf. If there is a zarf, then it is called mudaf ilayh. And this is end of it. Was beneficial. I hope everybody benefited. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from all of us. Ameen. Whatever good I said today or throughout the class was only from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever wrong I said, whatever evil I said was from me and shaitan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive me. Sisters, it was a very pleasant journey with all of you of book 1. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from all of us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase us all in knowledge. Ameen. Inshallah, see you in book 2. Try to be regular and try to attend, and don't think, oh, book 1 is done, khalas, I'll do books 2 some other time. Better continue and better come with more zeal and more energy, because book 2 will require you to put more time. But the good news is that in book 2, inshallah al-Aziz, your understanding of the Quran and Sunnah will go much, much, much higher, sisters. how many zarf we have studied? We have studied only few zarfs. It says tahta we have studied inda, and perhaps qabala and ba'da, maybe fawqa. The few zarf we have. Zarf has got more details, but what we have studied was just any very, very easy things, and inshallah exam will be like that. So don't worry about that. Amama, of course, it's zarf, yes. Barakallah fix is a Shahina. Yeah, Sister Fawzia, inshallah, book 2, I will be taking class, inshallah. Mubtada, Sister Mavish, let's say Mubtada is definite. As I said to you last time as well, for few things, you look at the asl, you look at the thing which is most of the time. Some exceptions, you don't look at that. So most of the time, Mubtada will be definite. If Mubtada is indefinite, then you see Mubtada has to leave its place and Mubtada went second. There could be exceptions here and there, but right now we will focus on what is the major chunk. Like we said last time, if somebody say is fasting fard on everybody, all Muslim will say yes. Then we will add, if anybody is sick, if anybody has got this condition, that yeah, they are excused. But generally, it is fard for everybody. So we take usul for everything, and we don't go into the furu straight away. All those topics will be included in our exams, Sajina is asking. So sisters, the fact is, most of the things which were in level 1 were repeated in level 2. Little bit information was added, little bit twist came here and there. So it's very difficult to say that it will, because if let's say if we ask about Ismul Ishara, then Haza was in the beginning lessons of level 1. So we can't just take it out. So just go through the revision. Most of the questions will be from level 2, but possible that there is something which is from level 1, because at the end of the day, sisters, we are not coming here to do the test, pass the exam, get the certificate and go happy. Alhamdulillah, certificates are very good. This is a dalil that you have attended a course, you understood it, and Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, you accomplished. Your marks will tell you, certificate will tell that yes, you have achieved some expertise in that. But the end goal is to understand the Quran and Sunnah, sisters. So if we can't do that, we do level 1, give the exam, get good marks, go to level 2, forget level 1, keep moving. Level 9, we don't know anything about level 6, 5, 4, 3. That's not going to work. So keep yourself revising all the time, sister. Now I hope that today's revision slides, when you will get this, will act as 80% of whatever we have studied. Everything is there. These are just markers. Every time you'll see zarf,